What is up, everybody? Solomon here. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic Monday. First and foremost, I wanted to give a shout out to the XRP community. Anybody that reached out to me. Yeah, my back's been out for like 4 days. I had to go get steroids today. Luckily, the pharmacy that they sent me to, they're doing construction in the parking lot, so I had to go about a mile out of the way just to come down the opposite road and, get those steroids for my back, which was fantastic. If you see any scam ads on this video, please do not participate in those. You can obviously tell by the title, Ripple and Apple merged to form Rapple. Yeah, that's complete nonsense. And this is the exact opposite that you want to do from an investing perspective. Now, I did want to say that this comes from, this is what, XRP Productions, Standard Productions, XRP the Standard. They're on Twitter. This is very much so a satire news outlet, okay? Nothing against them whatsoever. If somebody would even vet this announcement out, they could very obviously see that this isn't true. However, I wanted to play this video for you all because there's so many things fundamentally wrong with the mindset that she has here. And it's honestly like it's comical to an extent. So we'll go through here for a second, and maybe I'll comment every once in a while. And then I'm going to talk about G7 as well with regulations. I'm going to talk about a new Ripple partnership. And I'm going to present one coin that I just did a deep dive on Patreon with. Maybe I'll do this once a week. I try to get a handful of coins out on a weekly basis. I think last week I only got like 3. But I had a little bit of a rough week last week with the back and everything else. So this week I plan to get some more out there. Okay. I'm going to start this now, though.
To my fellow members of Gen Z, I am tired of old people. This is how we're going to get rich and do whatever we want. It's common knowledge at this point that the richest people in the world don't have their money from a 9 to 5, they have investments. And we can't all afford to buy a house right now or invest in Fortune 500 stock. So here's what you got to do. Download an app that you can use to buy cryptocurrency. I use the Crypto app. It's literally called Crypto.com, but it's an app. Anybody can do this. And then buy as much XRP or Ripple as you can afford every single paycheck. We have to invest in Ripple because for multiple reasons. One, they just made a deal with Apple to form something called Rapple. This is a huge deal because Apple runs the world pretty much at this point. Secondly,
All right, I have to take this a couple of steps at a time. Okay. First and foremost, obviously there's a separation between XRP and Ripple. We'll get into that more in this video here. Secondly, Ripple and Apple did not join to form Rapple. And most importantly, you shouldn't be spending as much money as you can possibly spend on a bi-weekly basis on crypto if you can't afford to do that. You should certainly look and try to vet out projects that you think may have utility, use case, and could grow from a valuation standpoint in the future. But investing more than you can afford to lose has proven to be not the way to go about this time and time again. I'm not saying that 1 in every 1,000 people hasn't gotten lucky and made a lot of money, but if you want to go that route, you might as well just play the lottery. So, all right, I'm going to continue with this. There's only 15 seconds left, thank God. So
they have deals with major banks all throughout the world. They're the first cryptocurrency to undergo the process of being regulated by the government.
That's false. 100% false, obviously. We know right now we have regulatory clarity for Bitcoin and Ethereum. XRP does not have regulatory clarity yet, which adds an additional layer of risk. Another reason that you don't want to put everything from every paycheck into XRP, but she seems that she can't make the difference in XRP versus Ripple, which is a little bit concerning as well. And she talks about that here in a second too, with buying Ripple shares when she's referring to XRP.
Meaning that when crypto is the main currency, it's going to be Ripple. And right now it's only 25 cents a share. Invest, y'all.
Interestingly enough, I really dug the pan back camera angle just to make sure that she got her full self into view there. And up above, we can catch the 80s hair, which is awesome. So many of us, have seen 80s hair, and I'm not knocking anybody with it. This is just like the most ridiculous video that I've seen in a long time. Okay, so first and foremost, you can buy Ripple shares, but there's private sales. I forget, Crypto Eddie did a video on this. You can certainly buy Ripple shares, but it is very different than XRP, obviously. Second, Ripple and Apple did not merge to form Rapple. Ripple, the company, does try to adhere to all the regulations that they need to adhere to. XRP is not the first regulated cryptocurrency. In fact, there is still regulatory unclarity, or there's not clarity as far as regulations are concerned with XRP yet. So she's wrong there on that front as well. And most importantly, everybody, please vet out what you're doing. I mean, I'm all for this, as she calls herself, a Gen Z, or not wanting to work a day in her life. But maybe she should have worked a little bit harder at researching before she posted this stupid video. So let's all vet out the projects that we want to invest in. You make the money, I make the money. This is our hard-earned money, and we are putting it into these investments that we hope will grow in the future due to utility and adoption, okay? So first and foremost, you need to understand what you're investing in. This individual right here should not be investing into cryptocurrency, period, unless she does a little bit more research by herself. And she certainly should not be telling people what to invest in. It's just complete nonsense. But I have no problem with XRP_productions. That's just me, though. I always vet out everything. If you're not vetting out things on your own and making sure that what you read is correct, this may not be the space for you. Because there are quite a few people on YouTube that get just as hypey. I think that this is just a comical type thing that they obviously do. This is satire. If you've ever watched like Monty Python, any of this stuff, I mean, they do a fantastic job at satire. XRP_productions does the same thing, okay? Obviously, vet all this stuff out. Do you really think Apple would merge with Ripple and form Rapple? Okay, moving on from that. G7 finance officials. Now, this is actual news, okay? This is actual looking into things. G7 finance officials back need to regulate digital currencies. This is coming from the Treasury. This is a Washington. This is a Reuters announcement. Finance ministers and central bankers from the group of seven, the G7, advanced economies, strongly supported the need to regulate digital currencies, the U.S. Treasury Department said in a statement on Monday after a virtual meeting of the officials. A wolf in sheep's clothing is still a wolf, he said. It is clear to me that that Germany and Europe cannot and will not accept its entry into the market while the regulatory risks are not adequately addressed. We must do everything as possible to make sure the currency monopoly remains in the hands of the states. Okay. But we do know that we've heard from the head of the OCC, Brian Brooks. If you're not aware, the OCC is the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. He's essentially the head regulator as an individual of the OCC and as of all the federally chartered banks in the United States, has stated that 6 to 8 weeks, this was like 4 or 5 days ago, we would have regulatory clarity for Bitcoin and other crypto assets. So I am excited. We are seeing the same rhetoric across the board here with regulations, and hopefully those regulations add to some clarity and some ease of joining into this marketplace from a financial institution standpoint. Because I think the mass populace is already here, at least from the 1% of the mass populace is already here. The other 99% are not going to get in until they see regulated financial institutions jumping into this space and offering it to them, selling it to them like it's the best thing since sliced bread, when all the money's already been made. I'm not in this for when all the money's already been made. I'm here beforehand so that I can make the money that's about to be made. Now, we do see XRP to the USD. Obviously, we're still hovering right around 60.5 cents. And it's interesting to see. I pulled up a couple of things here, and I had this, I think these are like Keltner channels. We were sitting right at this upper trend line. Essentially, these channels, from my understanding, are just equal positions away from the certain moving averages. But, we've seen this in the past. I'm not overly concerned with it. I want to get into this, though. This is Novati and Ripple. And again, touching base on this real quick, I could really care less if we drop down to 50 cents or if we go up to 70 cents. Because in 2 to 3 years, I don't think that it's going to matter at all. And even if you're a longer term investor and you're in this marketplace for 5 to 10 years, I mean, some people are, these prices are going to be literally a joke. So this is Novati and Ripple. Now this is a digital banking and payments A company that provides payment services, including card issuing, merchant acquiring, payment processing, and settlements, which support the likely transition to a cashless economy. I almost just did a Mike Tyson there and said cathless, but sorry about that. So this is Novati. Now, on a yearly basis, $2.3 billion in transactions. It's not a ton, but it's more, right? It's more adoption to Ripple's ecosystem. We can see the full announcement here. This is actually a better breakdown of this ecosystem. Ripple partnership to fast track growth in Southeast Asia. A new innovative partnership formed with global payments industry disruptor Ripple. This is obviously Novati. Provides Novati's customers with access to RippleNet, Ripple's global financial network, its capabilities, and hundreds of partner financial institutions. Adds to Novati's rapidly growing list of Tier 1 global partners, providing a strong competitive advantage as the shift to digital payments accelerates. Will fast-track Novati's growth in Southeast Asia with the aim of driving increased traction volumes and delivering new revenue. Now, interestingly enough, also, we see down below here, they're hitting high record revenues on a monthly basis here. Or this is a quarterly basis, sorry. Obtaining regulatory approval for issuing and managing means of payment in New Zealand. This is one step that's necessary to them launching and issuing any issuing services in that market. And they partnered with leading global card payment company UnionPay recently as well. UnionPay is very big, from my understanding. Okay, last but not least, again, I said this was a little bit of a shorter video here. I looked into this today. This is Alliance Block. Actually, somebody had asked me on Patreon to look into a different digital asset, and I ended up stumbling upon this. This is one example of something that I'm trying to find on Patreon, and I'm not going to do this every day. I think the last time I did things that I shared with on Patreon was probably 2 weeks ago. This is Alliance Block, though. 2696 as far as the ranking. Volume's only 151,000 bucks. Total supply $1 billion right now. Supposedly the circulating supply is 90 million. But we can see that the coin just got issued probably very beginning of September, or at least that's when CoinMarketCap acknowledged it. But you start, and this is okay. So people ask me, how do you research? And this is one of the ways that I research to give you guys tips. Sometimes I'll be going down one path and I'll see something else that's interesting, and that I will look into either via targeted searches, or maybe it's just one link, and it leads you down an entirely different path. And you can see how these ecosystems and partnerships sometimes connect. And sometimes what I was initially trying to research, by the time I get to the end, is completely different, because what I believe that I found is bigger. This is obviously a high risk asset. However, when you get into who they are partnered with, and who some of their advisors are, I mean, they're partnered with Quant, Holochain, Chainlink, L39, which is a big tech innovator startup group. I believe Revolut started at L39 as well. AWS, Money 2020, NatWest, which is big. We can see Frontier and Ocean, which I believe is big too. But then you go down even a little bit further here. Their team has quite a bit of experience. Let me see if I can find it in here. Sorry guys, I did the whole deep dive on Patreon, and now all right, let me go to their actual white paper here. We can see the green paper, their integration with Quant, and then also Accenture ties in with this. There's a couple of different things that tie in with this. Bear with me for a second here. Okay, so this is their tie-in with Overledger. We can see this, they have pulled up right here in their green paper. Enterprise Systems Applications Platforms, the Alliance Block platform. Then we see Overledger, which ties in with enterprise permission blockchains, Hyperledger, Quorum, Ethereum, and Ripple, public permissioned, and other blockchains. We can see right here, Alliance Block has partnered with Quant's Overledger to implement a multi-ledger interface. And Chainlink as well. They are very much so integrated into Chainlink. But their roadmap is sitting down here, or their accomplishments. Hang on. All right. Incorporation, Alpha Startup, top 6 selection at Accenture's FinTech event. Now, if you're not aware, Accenture has these FinTech events in their innovation labs as well. Nasha does as well. I think that Intellect Design, no, it wasn't Intellect, it was Identity, which essentially partnered with Trace Financial for updating ISO messages for Swift. That either came out of Accenture or Nasha. I think it was Accenture. So I always pay attention to the the fintech innovation events that Accenture holds. Now, Quant partnership, AWS activation program. This is in December of 2018. Holochain in 2019. Level 39, yes, which was where Revolut was incubated. We know how big Revolut has become. Money 2020 here. Now, real quick as a sidebar, does everybody remember the CNN article that says, forget about Bitcoin, these other digital assets are doing whatever? This was like 3 days ago that CNN posted that article, and it had a picture of Brad Garlinghouse. I did a video on it. They like sneak in a quote from the Alliance Block CEO in that CNN article, like out of nowhere, and most people have probably never heard of Alliance Block whatsoever. Okay, NatWest. NatWest is one of the largest clearing banks in the United Kingdom. They're app released, and they are Financial Conduct Authority authorized as well. Some of their team members are pretty interesting. They've got people that were at JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, across the board here. You get down into advisors. This is Anders Christensen, strategic advisor. Current role is the head of ecosystem at Avaloq. If you don't know who Avaloq is, Avaloq is a Swiss company that develops and provides software for core banking software system, Avaloq Banking Suite, which is used by more than 140 banks worldwide. So, there's more in here that I presented upon. There's more interviews. There's more potential tie-ins. Their tokenomics are fascinating. They're very much so tied in with make or die, and almost trying to remove volatility due to basically pegging to DAI's transaction volumes, which is like a crazy idea, as well as just tying this Alliance Block token into almost everything throughout the ecosystem from a tokenomic standpoint, from what I've seen. Okay, I will let you guys dig into that if you feel the need to. Not trying to shill anything. Again, that is a high-risk asset. I showed you right there that's only got $150,000 worth of volume, but it's also new. And, these things potentially could go to whatever they could potentially go to with a strong team, strong partnerships, and a strong utility and use case. Now, if you are not aware, just real quick as to what they're trying to accomplish here. The world's first globally compliant decentralized capital market. I'll let you look more into this, but essentially they're trying to build this protocol, which is a decentralized agnostic layer 2 solution that bridges traditional and decentralized finance and automates the process of converting any digital or crypto asset into a bankable product. So this very much so deals in tokenization as well. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am curious to see if we have regulatory clarity within the next, we'll say 5 to 7 weeks now. And also the Novati partnership with Ripple was big. Do not participate in scams, people. If you look into something and it seems like it's too good to be true, like Ripple and Apple forming Rapple, it's probably too good to be true. Don't invest more than you are absolutely willing to 100% afford to lose in this marketplace. And be cognizant. Vet out your own project. Don't trust what anybody says, including myself. Trust yourself. Use everything as a benchmark that you can learn more off of. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you happen to be. All right, later.